Hello there. We're back with some more set review action. This time we've got the command aspect. Still got Hector with me. Let's get into it. First up is Morgan Elspeth.
Um, Being able to play a unit for one less is good, and other leaders that have done that. This one seems to be more um, conditional.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Not only do you have to have play a unit that shares a keyword with a unit that you have, but you've also had to have attacked with said unit with a friendly unit. Um, so timing wise, you have to attack first and whatnot. So it's a bit more conditional. It could be good. It's kind of we'll see, in my opinion.
5 deploy 3/6 is a little below what I'd like.
Yeah,
Really shooting for that 7th health.
I mean it's Force and Imperial, fine. Knight, we'll see how good that is, but yeah,
You can suicide her with old Daka.
right. But yeah, it's one of those where out of the leaders that uh, make like your next unit cheaper, it's my least favorite.
Yeah, it's a lot of conditions on the front side. I like that it's a lot less conditional on the back side. You just have to have it.
Yes,
Um, and obviously, he has to live to your next action after attack with Morgan. But
yeah, but she comes out as a 3/6. Which uh, fine. Han 2 is a 3/6, but I just find his ability more useful overall.
mhm. Another thing that I think would have really helped her is actually having a keyword on her plate side, either restore one or overwhelm or something,
Yeah,
where she could bridge with her
yeah,
spell.
yeah. Because if you have no other units and you just have her, which is very likely, she's not going to help you play another unit cheaper.
Yeah, but overall, I'm pretty lukewarm on her. I don't like really see anything super top tier competitive with her compared to
Yeah.
the other leader choices. Now we've got Supreme Leader Snoke.
Give an experience token to the unit with the most power. So as long as you have a unit, you can get it out on anything. Kind of the opposite of Ray, where she has to do something with 2 or less power. This one is just the most power. Even if you have one unit, at least you can get the token out. I think he's okay, in that kind of sense. Um, on his flip side, yeah, he's a 4/7 on attack. Um, Give an experience token to the unit with the most power. Now, these have to be villainy units, so
Yeah.
it is a bit specific there. Um, but I don't know. I He's another one of those where it's like he's okay.
Yeah. I like that he can buff himself on the void side. That's really
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
Because in the colors for overwhelming barrage, so being able to buff, deploy, attack, buff, and then barrage for 7,
yeah,
it's pretty good. Like I think these buff leaders are always just like uh, borderline playable. Like Ray sees a lot of competitive success. I could definitely see Snoke seeing some competitive success. Being able to just make your curve super flexible, and um, whenever you play off curve, you just get an experience. So there's nothing super bad with that.
yeah.
And then we've got Avar Chris.
This one's interesting. Um, Being able to create the force is nice, and it doesn't cost you anything. Just action, create the force. So I think that's pretty cool. She costs 9, but honestly, I see her being able to be played for like 8 very consistently, maybe 7.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think this is going to be like a super fantastic leader, but it has potential. It depends how good the force decks go. Use the force when on her deploy side, and she can get +4 and overwhelm. That could be large. Well, the force is with you. Sorry. She's okay. I don't think she's the best leader, but you could probably do some nice force shenanigans with her.
Yeah, I think our biggest issue is being slow. Like,
Yeah.
even if you can go jump through the hoops and deploy her on 7, like she's just an 8-10. Like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
even overwhelm, I guess, but like not even restore. Like, Yoda gets to deploy and kill a giant unit for free. So it's just
Immediately.
like not
And
super exciting. Like there are
yeah.
some strong cards that just having the force on demand are good for. Curate unit in particular is really annoying if they can gain the force like 3 times per phase and just like wall off your board. But like I don't think playing such a slow leader is worth that kind of interaction. You can just play faster force leaders and it'd be a
Yeah.
little less opponent. See, I'm not too high on her.
That's fair.
Now we've got Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Another experience leader, but to something without an experience. Um, at least you don't have to spend a resource. You do have to use the force.
Mm-hmm.
And you can give it to something without an experience token on it. I think he's okay. Another 5 cost, 3/6 on attack. Basically does the same thing just on attack. Um, he can be okay.
Um, that's um, I'm a lot higher on him than I think than you are.
Okay.
um, I think a free XP, sure you only get 1 on each unit, but potentially in a force stack, this can buff every unit you play if you can consistently attack with force.
Yeah.
And then he deploys early. He's a 3/6, force and Jedi, so he's great for putting General's Blade on him. Um, and then just getting free experience early on the 5 deploy side is pretty strong. Um, So yeah, I think he's just like could be a powerful like blue green or mono green like mid range leader like Ray, similar shell to Ray, but with a more force focus, and then you get the XP for free instead of having to pay a resource.
You just have to use the force, which you should be able to generate the force reasonably easy.
Yep. Yeah, I
My
think he's
only
pretty
thing
good.
is you can't stack the XP on the same unit, but it can get you a little bit of extra value on your units.
Yep. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some Obi-Wan at like semi top tier.
Okay.
We've got Mystic Monastery.
This is my favorite of the 25 hit point bases from this set. Just because it's not as conditional as the others. I mean, there's no condition, just action. The force is with you. Yes, it's limited. You can do it 3 times a game, but I think the other bases are too conditional.
Yeah,
I'd
just
rather
being
just
able
play the
to
28-point base.
Mhm. Just being able to get the force. Like I have the force 3 times each game. Like
Yeah.
and you just can completely play around it. You can have it whenever you want. Is pretty nice. It enables like a lot of weird stuff, like Infused Brawler. You can play it as a turn 1 4/4, which is pretty crazy. You can use Barris to play Resupply on turn 1,
Mm-hmm.
which is shown to be pretty powerful in like con decks. I'm sure there's plenty of other interactions I can't think of right now. So it's definitely the most interesting. 25 HP is still a very large cost. Like
It really is. I I still lean towards that probably just play Jedi Temple
yeah,
or Starlight Temple. One of the 28 hit point bases.
yeah, for sure. So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if someone finds out some deck that like really abuses the space. But
Like if you did a double green, what's her name, of our Chris, where somehow you can use the force multiple times, this might help, but it's probably too complicated.
Yeah, I don't see it being like the deck that abuses this being consistent enough to see play at a
Right.
high competitive level. Um, you might just get obliterated by it at locals or something though.
Yeah.
First up is for the units is Exegol Patroller.
3-1 overwhelm. I mean, it's okay. The overwhelm isn't really that going to be that significant. Um, at you're probably going to just get one extra damage if anything, and lose your unit.
Yeah,
Uh, so I mean, it's there are worse plays for two, I suppose.
yeah. I really wish it was just a 3-2 vanilla.
Yeah,
Honestly, uh,
yeah,
like 3-1 overwhelm. It feels like it's designed to kill Tie Fighter tokens, and then you still get some overwhelm. But then the unit dies. Like you have to buff it.
yeah, and then it's gone. And if you run into a ping deck, it's
Yeah, it's just a dead vanilla
worthless.
play.
Yeah,
It's not great. Yeah, so it would have been much better if it was a 3-2 vanilla, I think. I'm not too high on it, but I wouldn't see. I could totally see it seeing some play in some decks just because there's not a lot of good options for turn one space openers.
right. And it's another first order card if you needed some sort of first order deck.
Yeah, instant including Phasma for sure,
Yeah,
where it pings the damage.
I just don't see it in a lot of other decks.
Yeah. So we've got Sith Legionnaire.
Um, he's all right if you control another villainy unit. Um, if you play him on turn one, obviously you won't have another one, but open up your next turn with the villainy unit, he's suddenly a 4-2. However, he can get killed by just about anything.
Yeah. So, like, on the initiative, I think it's pretty likely he's a 4-2 and he either hits their base for 4 or just trades with almost any turn 1 play.
Mm-hmm.
Not Crafty Smuggler sets, but anything else, essentially. Um, on the draw, though, he's just going to die. Like, they're going to play a 2-4 or a 2-2 shielded or a 3-3 and just attack into him and kill him.
And then he's gone.
Yeah. And then you're set. So
Yeah.
like these turn one plays that are super reliant on having initiative, generally, I think are pretty shaky to actually make the cut at high level play because like if your card's only good 50% of the time, is it really worth including in your deck?
Right.
So that's a genuine problem. You know, Sith trait works with what is it? The rule? No, he's not unique, so he doesn't even work with rule of two. So
Yeah.
it's mainly just Trooper that matters, and Trooper series is kind of lukewarm right now. So yeah, I don't see him seeing much play. It's... We've got Vane.
Might be interesting to move your tokens around. Experience tokens if you have, maybe one of the aforementioned leaders that create experience tokens. He's a 2-4, so he's a bit sticky, for a turn one play. I think he's all right. He's an Imperial and an official. So yeah, if you have something that creates experience tokens, maybe that might help you move those around. He's okay.
He's the cheapest unique Sith unit we have for Rule of Two, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
If that card ever sees play. I think 2-cost 2-4 Imperial Official was like borderline. Like the text doesn't really matter at that point. Turns on your Royal Guards.
Yeah.
Can be buffed by Tarkin if you're still a Tarkin gamer. Which are all good things. I don't think his text currently will matter. Like moving XP to get an extra damage is like cute, but you have to have a really weird developed board state for that to actually matter.
Right.
And there's not like I think the most interesting thing with his text is you can play him and then you can defeat an XP on a unit and then put the XP right back on that unit. So if we ever get some units that are like when this unit becomes upgraded, do X, and you can like repeatedly do it with Vane, which would be interesting. But as far as I know, that doesn't exist currently. That works with token upgrades.
Right.
Maybe Fenrel? Does Fen? Do you have to play with Fenrau? Look that up for me.
Fenrel,
Yeah, the 6-drop vigilance unit from set 2.
you have to.
I think you have to play the upgrade on her, right? For him.
I think you have to play the upgrade, if I remember correctly. Yeah, when you play an upgrade.
Yeah, that is the kind of thing that Bane would work with, but it does not work with Fenrau, said.
Yeah.
So we'll see. He's got potential in the future, but yeah, definitely 2 cost 2 for Imperial Official. Like, that's almost good enough. And then we've got Captain Enoch.
1/5. Can get a +1 for each trooper in your discard pile. So if you have some sort of discard shenanigans, fine. Or if you just want to sacrifice your troopers and throw them away. Otherwise, I think it's too much effort to make him work. I'd rather just play a 3/5.
Yeah, so if you play a turn 1 trooper and then trade with your opponent's turn 1 play, he's a 2/5, which is below curve.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you draw him late in the game, like if you get him off Vader unit or something, he can be like a 5/5 if you're playing enough troopers. Like, he can get pretty big later in the game.
Potentially.
Which is interesting. It's just hard to justify a slot that's like that. I'm playing this in my 3-drop slot, but I'm not wanting to play it on 3-drop.
But you want to play it later, yeah.
I want it later in the game. So justifying the slot where they're not good at both, like a lot of 3-drops that see play have some utility in both, like a Sentinel or whatever. Now, if you're a discard focused leader, Trench can get them pretty big, Afra can get them pretty big. Like, maybe I just don't see Trench Green or Afra Green being like a top tier meta threat.
Right. Yeah, if those decks were something, then maybe, but yeah.
And even like those leaders set it up for free, but you still have to put troopers in your deck, and there's not like an exceptionally long list of like really exciting troopers.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. He's just like kind of meh. I don't think he'll see much play. Now we've got Knight of Ren.
3 cost 4/4. I mean, it's blank. There's nothing special, no text, but I think it's got decent numbers. Another first order card if you need a curve filler in first order. I think this card is okay.
Slam Dunk and Phasma, in my opinion. Like, 3
Yeah.
cost 4/4 is good stats, and then you get the free damage. Yeah, everywhere else, like, I don't know, if you just need a really well-statted stick to fill your curve, like, maybe. But
Right.
Blue-Green Villain usually wants to ramp on 3 resources, and that's the primary Green Villain in the meta right now, so I don't know. It's totally possible he doesn't see play because ramp is just much better to be doing.
Right.
We've got Praetorian Guard.
I think his Sentinel ability is too conditional, and I'd probably rather play something else if I was looking for a Sentinel specifically.
I really wish he was a 3/5.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice that your most leaders turn on his Sentinel ability, but like 2/5 conditional Sentinel, that's a lot of hoops for not even like great stats.
Especially to play him on turn 2.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to play him on on 3 resources, he's not going to be a Sentinel. So at that point, you're just playing a 2/5.
Yeah, and that's not great.
Yeah, a 2/5 with vanilla. Yeah.
So yeah, he doesn't do enough. I don't think we'll see any play.
Nah.
I might even cut him from my limited decks. That's the doom and gloom of a card. Is like I'm not even like
like
this
it's
in limited.
not even going to work in the pre-release or whatever.
Yeah. And then there's Drangir Spawn.
3/3 for 4 and overwhelm. No. And fine, if he attacks and defeats the unit, you get a number of experience equal to that defeated units cost. So that's one experience. I mean, because he's not going to defeat anything else. And I mean, it would, to make it worthwhile. Let's say you upgraded him and he was able to kill a 5-drop or something and live somehow. Great, fine. And then after all that effort, he's suddenly an even bigger thing. But I just I don't see it being consistent. It's going to take too long and way too easy to deal with.
See, the vision is you play it on 4, and then you untap with it, and on 5 you overwhelming barrage, you kill their small unit, weaken their leader, and then you kill their leader with it and get like 5 experience. Like it's crazy. Is that gonna happen in a real competitive game?
If
No.
all that lines up, yeah.
Yeah. It's too many hoops. Like
Yeah.
you have to buff it. They have to not remove it after you buff it. They have to have something worthwhile killing with it that it can live.
I mean, it costs 4, and sure, you play it, and you're going to set it up for something, and then they kill it with their turn 1 play if it's still around.
Now, I'm like, it's a creature trait, but it's villain, so even Kanan can't play it and shield it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not good enough. And then there's Eighth Brother.
This one's all right. 5/7 ambush. Does something when it comes into play. Now, it's other text, though. It's when you play another unit, use the force, and then give a unit +2/+2 this phase. That could be useful. It just doesn't coincide with the ambush. You know what I mean? It's kind of like two separate abilities on this card that don't necessarily gel together. But 5/7 ambush could be useful.
I find it funny that I think this card will primarily see play in decks that don't use the force. Like they just play him as a 6-cost 5/7 ambush, and it's like we play Syndicate lackeys in decks sometimes, which is just a 5-cost 5/4 ambush. Like that might, like, if that's a point in your curve where you really want an ambush, like it's got a lot of health for an ambush unit.
Yeah, so it'll probably live.
Yeah, which is nice. The tactical advantage when you play another unit using the force, that's just like okay. But yeah, I think it's mostly bonus text if your deck happens to be playing force and you don't have a better use for it that turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely can see him seeing play. He's got good stats for ambush.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's Eye of Scion.
Now this one has a bunch of keywords: hidden, ambush, overwhelm, restore 1.
You know,
7, but
you saw that Gore card in set 3. Well, we needed one in space in set 5.
Right, exactly. And I don't see Gore all that often. Now granted, this one costs less. It is Imperial. I mean, maybe in a Morgan Elsbeth deck, it could help activate your other cards because it's got all the keywords. But I don't know, it's one of those cards where you really got to kind of build a deck around it.
Yeah. Like, it's designed to work with Morgan Elspeth. You cheated in on 5 with Morgan, and then it sets up your next turn to play a 7-drop with Morgan, probably on 6 resources. Like, Maul has Overwhelm and Ambush. Stuff like that. Like, that's the kind of play pattern they're going for with Morgan. But, like, again, I don't think Morgan's very good. And 6 for just, like, a 4/7 Ambush Restore 1. Like, I don't know how often Hidden or Overwhelm matters in space. So it's just kind of meh. Like, sure, it's Imperial, but 6 is pretty late for a Tarkin deck or stuff like that. It's not even a capital ship, so Piet can reduce it. Like, I'm really lukewarm on it. I don't think it's that great. And then there's Supremacy.
I want more from a card that costs 12.
Yeah, like, dude, Crate Dragon for 9 wins you the game, essentially, if they don't answer it. Why is my 12-drop just a 12/12 ambush?
Right, and that's great. It gave other vehicles a +6/+6. It kind of feels like it's the type of, like, win more type text, but this card isn't winning in the first place.
Yeah, like, I have 3 other space units to buff. Like, okay, I was already winning that game. Like,
right, yeah.
Like, the game's over before 12 resources at that point. Like, sure, Piet can play it on 10, so maybe in mono green Piet because there's nothing better to play. But like,
even still, I think there's better things to do on 10.
yeah,
Like I would expect more from a 10 cost card.
yeah. Like it's competing with like Crate Dragon and Devastator, like all
Yeah.
these crazy bombs from the first couple of sets. Like, and it's just it doesn't hold up.
No.
It's not even like a cool Twin Suns combo card or anything because it costs 12. Like, you can't get there.
And it's a first order. Sure, it's a capital ship. So yeah, I mean, there's not much going on with this as a legendary.
Yeah. And you crack it in your pre-release kit, and you're just disappointed because it's not going in the deck for sure, and it ate one of your legend slots. When you could open exciting cards like Vader or Anakin. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, definitely not seeing play. Next is Inquisitor's Lightsaber.
So it's an upgrade. Fine, 1/3 for 2. Attach unit while attacking a force unit gets +2. It's very specific. So if you built an anti-force deck, more power to you. You can use this. Otherwise, there's just better things to do with 2 if you wanted to upgrade.
See, we play blue-green Snoke, and we play 3 Inquisitor's Lightsaber and 3 Nameless Terror, and we just bully all the Force decks. Nah, like this isn't gonna see play in Premiere. Like,
No.
Having the only text relevant against Force is not ideal. Like, upgrades that give 2 for +1/+3 give good text. Like, Kylo's Saber prevents the unit from being exhausted. Ascension Gable gives Saboteur. Like, the competition is just really tough for 2-cost upgrades.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not gonna see play. It's gonna be annoying in Limited though. Holy crap! Like, it's basically 2-cost +3/+3 in Limited, which is
Yes.
kind of nuts. And then Craving Power.
I like this one actually. It's like a mini overwhelming barrage. Costs the same. Deal damage. You just can't spread the damage out, and the +2/+2 stays on it as long as the upgrade stays on it. So kind of like having 3 extra copies of Overwhelming Barrage.
Mm-hmm.
Which Overwhelming Barrage is a really good card.
So like half the time we use Barrage as a Vanquish that gives +2/+2 anyway. And
Yeah.
if you're gonna do that, Craving Power is just better. You got to keep the buff permanently. So like the card's floor is like very good. It's nice that Kylo Leader can discard it and then play it on his play turn, and he's gonna be like massive, so you got to shoot something really big for a lot of damage.
Yeah. It just doesn't have the versatility of Overwhelming Barrage where you can spread it out, but it's more or less the same ability.
Yeah. That's definitely like a flaw, but you're probably playing 3 Barrage in your deck first anyway.
Yeah.
So
But
it's,
if you have spot for extra, if you could play 6 Barrage, I'd fit that one in.
especially with like Data Vault being the premier like control blue-green color, like yeah, you have space for 2 Craving Power on top of 3 Barrage and Data Vault.
Yeah.
So yeah, I absolutely seen this play in potentially a ton of decks depending on space.
Yeah.
And it's a Kylo staple. It's one of Kylo's strongest plays if you're playing green.
Yeah.
And then we've got a much less citing card, Point Main Reclaimer.
For all those decks that have those other 1-cost Jedi, this may be cool. And you can play it another 1-cost 2/3 gives you an experience token. But are there any other 1-cost Jedi other than Barriss Offee from set 3? I think it was.
See, you Barriss enjoyers, you get a 1-cost 2/3.
There
you go.
I don't see this card being very useful.
It's just like card filler and limited. Like, it's not gonna see constructor play.
Yeah.
I mean, Rey can buff it, I guess, but Rey has a ton of good turn 1 plays.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
she's not even a Jedi herself, so you don't even get the experience of play on play turn.
No.
Yeah, it's just not going to see play outside of limited, and even limited is probably going to be like, this is the 29th card of my deck because I have nothing better to play.
Like even if I pulled this out of a Ewing reinforcement, it would just be because I have 1 point left.
Yep.
You know, and hope I had a Jedi.
Now Republic trait, there you go. Throw it in your Padme Twin Sons decks so she doesn't whiff every 3 out of 5 durability. But yeah, and then we've got Gunji.
2/5 for 2. That's a very sticky
Bulky.
unit. That's going to be hard to deal with. I mean, yeah, it only attacks for 2, but it's going to stick around and then upgrade it or something, and it could be really annoying.
Yeah, Force and Jedi being able to hold General's Blade and Jedi Lightsaber on turn 2 is pretty scary.
Yeah.
Like, and then it's like absolutely ginormous 5/8. Better have Power of the Dark Side or Waylay, or you probably just lose the game.
Right. I mean, so yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times, I've either played a R2D2 with a saber or had someone play it against me and it's like, God, this thing's annoying. Can't get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, 2/5, even more, maybe. Like, I think it's all right.
It's nice that he doesn't die to Ping Tarkentam on turn 1 also.
Right.
5 health. That's something to consider. I think I still personally prefer the 2/4s with upside. Like Yaddle and Adi Gallia both have
Yeah.
really strong techs. This is just like an extra health. But yeah, Jedi trait combined with the lightsabers is pretty strong. Wookiee doesn't currently matter, but it could matter in the future also. Or doesn't matter on good cards, I should say.
Right.
But yeah, he'll definitely see play. He seems really great for a sturdy turn 1 play that won't die. No, go back. Don't skip over Jedi Consular.
I could see this one seeing some play. I mean, obviously in a Force deck, use a Force, play a unit from your hand. It costs 2 less. What is it? The Alliance Dispatcher makes a card just costs 1 less, and that's kind of one of those cards that's like a kill on sight. If you see someone play, like get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
This could be similar to that, and with slightly more health.
Yeah, Dispatcher's bigger brother. You get more health for 1 more cost, and you get a 2 resource discount. It's like pretty crazy. If this thing's going off, you're gonna start winning very quickly.
Yeah.
Like 5-drop turn 2, 7-drop turn 4. Like these seem really difficult to deal with, and dealing 4 damage is not the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, this is one of those cards that your opponent is going to need to deal with, or you're just going to outvalue them really quickly.
Again, Force Jedi also, so the same saber argument, Jedi lightsaber and General's Blade are both great. It's a target for it. Although you can't utilize the lightsaber and use its ability at the same time, so it's a little worse. But I definitely think we'll see play if there's some sort of Force mid-range deck that uses Green Hero in the meta. Lore Sand Tekka.
It's okay for turn 1 play. I mean, 3/2 for 2. And then when defeated, you can give an experience token. Now, it has to be a unique unit, so you want to make sure you have plenty of unique units in your deck for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. Is it an auto-include in anything? No, but it could fill a niche, depending on the type of deck you're making.
Resistance trait for all you Holdo nerds. Holdo, turn 2.
Yeah, that's the just having resistance trait. It's it'd be a lot better if it was like a rebel trait or something.
Yeah, and 3/2 for 2 is a lot worse in a world of a ton of 2-cost 2/4s.
Yeah.
So, he's not super exciting. He'll see play in some Twin Suns decks because you need an extra turn 1 play, and he's pretty decent there. He'll probably he has the same problem in Premier as in Limited with the 2/4s, so I don't know. He's just okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got Obi-Wan Kenobi.
3/5 for 3, which is, you know, good stats, you know, decent. So play a force unit and then it gains Sentinel. So it's another 3/5 with a little bit of an upside.
Nice bulky Sentinel with Force Jedi Republic traits, which are all great.
Yeah.
Again, lightsabers. Like, there's like a Jedi lightsaber in general play are going to be scary on every point of the curve. It's frightening.
Yeah.
Pack those disabling peg fighters because it's pretty
Oh
scary.
yeah.
Yeah, seems great to me. There's like no downside. Three cost 3/5 vanilla C play, so of course one with conditional sentinel.
Yeah, one with something. Yeah, it's a bonus.
We got Eathcoth.
So a heroic super laser tech.
Yep.
I think that could be good. Especially, I mean, obviously you have to be playing a force deck, and you have to have the force when it gets defeated. Don't accidentally use your force and then let the opponent just kill him off, so you can't use his ability. But other than that, I mean, I can totally see sacrificing him into something just to get the extra resource.
Yeah. So, like his force pretty great. Super laser tech with good stats. If you're playing force deck, it's amazing.
Yeah.
4 cost with a tapped resource is a little annoying cost curve wise. Like you run it on 5 and then you jump to 6, but you only have 5 resources to spend. So you're probably just deploying your leader earlier. You're not able to actually benefit from the extra resource from the ramp, which is a little annoying. I think that's the problem that Super Laser Tech has going into the next set also is villain decks can really easily turn on Force Lightning, and that can cut you off your ramp because it blanks the unit before it kills it.
Yeah.
Which is a genuine problem, like compared to Resupply, which will just always ramp you. It's weak to no glory in the Force Mirror also.
Yes.
And that's more of an issue than Super Laser Tech because it's a 4 resource play, so they can kind of curve evenly into that no glory to steal your Eathcoth. So yeah, it has like some things going against it, but I think it's the pros over with the cons. It'll still see play if there's a Force deck that wants to ramp.
Yep. And it'll get you to your later cards.
Yep.
An extra turn earlier. So. Oh, Leia. 5/5/5 force resistance official. Can attack, but you can use the force, move to the ground, and give all your heroic units +2/+2. Seems a lot of effort to give all your heroic units +2/+2. I don't see this card being very impactful.
So first off, I find it hilarious that they actually made this card. Like,
yeah, totally.
The dev team could not resist making this iconic moment that everyone loves and enjoys from Star Wars, a card. Yeah, so you like to best utilize this card. You have to be playing a force deck that wants to go wide on the ground primarily.
Yeah.
And then, like, she's a 5-cost 5/5, and then you kind of have to use her action immediately, because otherwise she won't ready the next turn. So, like, it creates weird sequencing issues. +2/+2 is, like, fine, but it's not, like, an insane amount. Like, Unity of Purpose is, like, 6, and is giving all your stuff +4/+4 better. So, yeah, I don't see her seeing, like, an insane amount of play. It is funny that you can Kazuda her, and then she'll ready in the space arena, and then you can attack ships. That's really funny. You can like turbo laser salvo with her for some weird reason. You can what is it? Whatever the holdo maneuver card's real name is, you can holdo maneuver with her, which is very funny. So yeah, just a ton of flavor fill cards because she's a space unit. But yeah, I don't see her seeing play in a competitive deck. I think there are better cards for mass pump. That don't work.
Yeah, there's cheaper ways to get +2/+2 if you really, really wanted to do that, and most of the time those cards don't even see play.
Yep. Another legendary that you open in your pre-list kit, you're like, man, there's some banger legendaries, and I got lit.
And you got this one, yeah.
Next is Paladin Training Corvette.
It's another one that 3-5 for 5. Fine, it's got Jedi Republic, it's a capital ship, but you can give 3 experience tokens, or give an experience token up to 3 force units. You have to have force units. You have to have 3 of them to make it worthwhile. Um, I'd rather just play a larger 5-cost unit or something more impactful.
So how big would a vanilla 5-drop space unit have to be to see play? What? Like Desperate Auto Freighter is borderline, that's a 5-cost 5/6.
Right.
So it's below that with 1 experience. With 2 experience, it's above that. It's a 5/7. So I think you have to be hitting 2 experience to consistently consider this card good. So now you have to keep 2 other units in play. They have to be force traded. And then you have to be able to play this probably before they attack to benefit from the XP to really be making it worth a slot.
Yeah.
That is a lot of hoops.
Yeah, it's too much.
Now, it's Jedi if you're playing Kit Fisto. Kit Fisto deploys the same turn. I don't think Kit Fisto is like a really great leader. His deployed side's pretty bad. But, it works curve-wise with Kit Fisto, and Kit Fisto wants Jedi units anyway. You can, bounce it with Qui-Gon. So maybe in a Qui-Gon green deck, if you can, spam this effect multiple times. Especially because you can put XP on your leader and then put it back in your hand and play Ahsoka or whatever. Seems okay.
Yeah, it's just too much work for that benefit.
But yeah, it's just a lot of hoops. I don't think it's like an auto staple going in any deck.
Yeah.
Now in limited, they deploy their leader and then they play this and give an experience to their leader and their other unit and have a 3/5 in space when there's not a lot of space in the set. Now that is scary. That is going to be a strong play line, I think.
Yeah.
And then we've got Keller and Beck.
I like this one. 7/7/7. So it's kind of like a cross between Ewing Reinforcement and Home 1.
Yep.
Like the effect. You get to search 7 cards, which is still pretty deep. Get a unit, and then you can play it for 3 less. That could be useful. I like that. I like that coming out of a Ewing Reinforcement even.
Mm-hmm. So Vader already sees play, which is 5-cost 5/7. Sure, he has ambush, but his primary function is getting a 3-drop for free. And Kelleran can play any 3-drop in your deck. It doesn't have to be specifically villainy or heroism.
Right.
Sure, he searches top 7 instead of top 10. But that's whatever. He's got Force Jedi and Republic, which are all great traits. And his ability scaling the later the game goes is pretty scary. If you play him on 8, he can now get a 4-drop. If you play him on 9, he can now get a 5-drop. The longer the game goes, the better Kelleran's hits get, which is pretty crazy. So I definitely see him seeing a lot of play. It's very similar to Home 1 that it just scales, and it gets better and better the longer the game goes. And it gives Green Hero, a lot scarier late game than it looks at first glance.
Mm-hmm.
Because it can just play multiple threats at once. I'm honestly impressed this card isn't a legendary. This card at a common is pretty insane to me.
I totally see putting this in some decks.
Yeah, for sure. Especially Han. Han wants to play.
I was gonna say put it in Han 1. Han 2. Even.
Yeah. Any Green Hero deck, probably.
Yeah.
And then we've got Yoda.
I like Yoda. Sure, he costs 8. He's a 5/9, but he used the Force and heal 5 damage, so immediate impact. And then when you use the Force, you deal damage equal to twice the number of units you control. So at bare minimum, you're healing 5 and dealing 2 damage.
Yep.
And if you have more units out, then you're potentially doing a lot more damage. I think this card could be useful for those green heroes and decks that go later. Whether you're ramping, ETH Koth, any of those cards that let you get to your later stuff. I like this one.
Yep. Green Hero got all the Force love this set. All of Green Hero's Force cards are pretty exceptional. I found it pretty consistent. I was playing some games that I could get this down for 8 and heal 5, and that is ludicrous. If I'm playing Yoda and killing their leader and healing 5, or killing a Luke unit and healing 5. Like, that is just insane value. Um, can't really compete with that. And Han 2, you can play him as a 7-drop, 7-drop, 5/7, which is great stats.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. If you delay your flip turn by a turn in Han 1, you can play him on 6, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, just a lot good going for him. He'll definitely see play. He's great top end if there's a force mid range deck in the meta. Which, with the quality of these cards, there better be one.
I would expect there to be one. Yeah.
Someone's got to make Obi-Wan work or something, because card quality is very high in Green Hero. Now, of course, to go with Yoda, you gotta have Yoda's lightsaber.
I think this one's pretty good. 2 cost 3/1 upgrade, and use the force and heal 3 damage from base. So it has an immediate, impact, and you just suddenly made some unit even scarier, like a Gungi or something.
Yeah. I think the biggest problem with this card is space. Like, all the words are good. Absolutely. 2 cost +3/+1 and heal 3 on play and 4 stacks is amazing. But are you playing 6 sabers? Or are you playing 3 Jedi's lightsaber and 3 Yoda's lightsaber? Or 3 General's blade and 3 Yoda's lightsaber? Like, do you have room for all these efficient upgrades? Like, probably not. So that, like, I could see it getting cut for that reason. But the text is definitely strong, and it absolutely could see play. Just space permitting. We've got following the path.
What I don't like about this card is that you put them on the top of your deck. You don't even draw them right away. That's a bit of a problem for me with this card. Yeah, you get to search 8 cards and you get 2 force units and put them on top, but I don't know. I would rather just draw 1.
Yeah. I wish this just cost 2 and drew them, like Prepare for Takeoff does.
Yeah.
Like, costing 1 and then they put them on your top of your deck. It's not even like force traded, so that doesn't interact with anything like the Ray Leader. So like it's just meh. Maybe in Twin Sense, where it gives you nice card selection.
Yeah.
But even then, it's still a little annoying. It doesn't draw them. Like, yeah, I don't know. It just seems meh. Then we've got Luminous Beings.
It's one of those that could maybe give you a big boost for the turn. It's expensive. It costs 6. Like oh my gosh, what's that card? We talked about it.
Unity of Purpose.
Unity of Purpose. Thank you. Something like that. Just gives you a standard +4/+4. It's one of those maybe cards where if you have the right deck and you can set it up and then have 2 or 3 force units that you can boost and try to finish the game off. But like Unity Purpose, it requires a lot of setup.
Yeah, like, I think the condition is like not super difficult. Like, just having 3 force units die over the course of the game before 6 resources seems like fine, especially if you're not ramping. You're just curving out. +4/+4 to 3 units is a lot. Like, that's 12 +12/+12 for 6 resources, which seems like a decent rate. I don't know if there's any non-mono green force deck that would want this. And if you're mono green, I think Unity of Purpose would be more consistent as a better buff effect if you're building your deck for this kind of thing.
Well, it doesn't have to be mono green because this one, green heroic, but I don't know. It's just, you have to have, you don't have to. I mean, you could just play it and give +1/+1 to 1 unit, but to spend 6 to give 1 unit +4/+4 is not that great.
Yeah, you really have to have like 2 units minimum to play.
Yeah, at least 2 units. 3 would be great, but yeah, it's expensive for what it does.
Yeah. I don't see like a go wide force deck really being a thing. There's like a ton of payoff for it, but no setup. Like,
yeah,
like they want you to play Luminous Beings and land. They want you to pump your whole board and kill them. But I I don't see it. Man, happy to be proven wrong if there's a Leia Luminous Beings deck at Galactics, and I get slapped by it. I'll hold my tongue, I guess, but I don't see it. And then we've got Oppo Rancesis. Probably totally butchered his name. I apologize.
He's a 3-cost 3/5, which, like we said, 3-cost 3/5 with vanilla with no text. See play.
Mm-hmm.
And now with his text, I could totally see him have. I can totally see this card being played in a double green deck. I mean, just to give him whatever keywords that anything else you have has. I can totally see him play.
This is totally the one card double green Padme needed to be tier 1. She is Restore 1. You Padme ability finds him, and then he gets the Restore 2 because Padme has Restore 1. And then you play Coordinate, Ambush, whatever on Coruscant Guard, and then he gets Ambush and all these crazy things. He's like great. Like there's no issues with him. Like we said, 3-cost 3/5, but no LLC play sometimes. Being able to just like build your deck and have a handful of keywords, and sometimes he gets those keywords as a bonus. So, like, seems great to me if you're playing a double green deck.
Yeah, if you're playing a double green deck.
Again, Force Jedi if you want to play General's Blade on him.
Yeah.
So yeah, seems pretty great if you're playing mono green. And then the Acclamator Assault Ship.
There's another double green, but too slow.
Yeah, 7 is really late for this card.
Yeah, and then on attack, fine. You can give something else +5/+5. If it lives and if it gets to attack, sure, your next unit that gets to attack is probably going to have a big buff, unless that unit gets dealt with. So yeah, it's too slow. There's too many things that could negate its upside.
I still find it amusing that this was the Force set, and they managed to fit a capital ship into the set. Like there wasn't a different like big Jedi or whatever you could have put in the slot. No, we're making the Acclamator Assault Ship. Right. I think maybe in double green Piet where it's a 5-drop, you can play it on your deploy turn. And then Piet's pretty sticky, so he's a good target for the buff.
Yeah.
Seems fine if double green Piet is the deck people are playing, but yeah, elsewhere it doesn't do anything unplayed. Like it's just too slow outside of Piet, I think. Next up is Village Tender.
I like Village Tender for 1/3 hidden and restore 1. It's not bad if you've got room for 1-drops.
We can play it in Han 2 and make it a 1/1 hidden restore 1 for 0.
Yeah.
Like Maz and then R2 and free Village Tender. There you go. Now your Maz is a 3/3. We've been doing that since Han 2 has been printed. But yeah, I don't know. Like seems good out of U-Wing. Seems interesting if you play it turn 1 and buff it with Rey.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of good going for it, depending on your leader.
Yeah.
Just a question of space, really. No real problems with the card. And Ewok trade will matter. I'm calling it. Like 2 sets for now. 2 sets for now. Wicked Leader tier 1 and Village Tender's best card will play. Next up is Malakili.
If you've got a creature deck going, I mean, being able to play it for less, it's like a Alliance Dispatcher with no action. It just happens first creature you play. So this could totally see play if you could make a viable creature deck.
See, you play it turn 1, and then you get to play Wampa turn 2 for 3, and that's a 3-cost 4/5 Overwhelm.
Yeah.
And then on 7, you get to play Bendu, and Bendu doesn't hate your own stuff due to the molecule. Like, see, red-green creatures. Like, this is going to be a crazy deck. Like, I see the vision. Like, I don't think that's going to be a competitive deck. I think that'll be a fun locals deck to play, like, Jabba Red and play Jabba's Rancor early and Bendu
exactly, and not take the damage from Jabba's Rancor. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what Malakili's designed to do, is do this kind of thing. Plays Crumb turn 1 for free too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And if you have to shoot your stuff with Crumb, he prevents it, which is also pretty cool. But yeah, I just don't see it seeing play in a competitive deck.
No, unless
Like,
there's a competitive creature deck.
yeah, that's the problem. Is the only creature leader right now is Kanan. I think it's better to just play Specters than Kanan.
Yeah.
Now in the future, if we get like a Malakili leader or something that interacts with creatures in a profitable way, maybe like he's definitely a card to look out for in the future. Depending on
Yeah, I could see it if there's more creature support in the future, then this could be really useful.
Yep. And then there's Minok.
Boring. 2 cost 2/3. Overwhelm. Okay.
That
the
this
overwhelm might as well not be there.
Yeah. This is the one designated card in the set that people will play in the wrong arena at pre-release. Like, they gotta do one per set. This is a space unit, like,
Yep.
and it's just chilling on the ground. Like, okay. Yeah, people are absolutely gonna play this to the ground in pre-release.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, 2 cost 2/3 overwhelm in space. It's fine. Like, not super exciting. I think I'd rather play the Exegol Patroller and get a 3/1 for a villain. Like, maybe if you really hate Vader and just want to counterattack against Vader and kill TIE Fighters and do 1 overwhelm, it's like, whatever. But yeah, I don't see it in any competitive decks.
It's funny that a Minok can defeat a TIE Fighter.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. We play it in Kanan Green if you really hate Darth Vader, and then you just kill their TIE Fighter, do 2 overwhelm, and then or 1 overwhelm, and then you shield it, and you keep doing it. All right, we wrote the card.
With Malakili, this only costs 1, so
heck yeah. You can play 2 of them on turn 2. It's broken.
Right? Yes.
This is not going to see play.
No.
Speaking of cards that don't see play or aren't going to see play, I have Defense Swing.
Yeah, 2/4 restore 1. Okay. I mean, I could see putting this into a limited deck, at a pre-release or something, Other than that, I just don't see it going.
Being a space unit restore is pretty great for limited.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
In constructed, like, you just really need 3 cost 3/4 at minimum, and even cards without strong text don't see play sometimes as 3 cost 3/4. Like, Sephiroth Vehicle Fighter, like, maybe you can play it in a Dooku deck, play a 1-drop, and then exploit into this on turn 1. Like, maybe? That's, like, the only use case that even seems remotely interesting to me with this card. Yeah, not like Dooku's a super meta tyrant or anything. So
right.
Yeah, it's just mostly contained to limited, I think. And then Maz Kanata.
So another Fleet Lieutenant, but for Force.
Yep.
Fleet Lieutenant sees play at 3/3. I can totally see her seeing, she'll see play in a Force deck.
Yeah, I'm much more excited for Maz than Fleet Lieutenant. 3/4 is a lot better. Like, she doesn't die in one shot to all these 3/4s and 3/5s that are seen playing in the meta.
Yep.
Which is really nice. And, Force is a broad enough trait that I think you can include her in a variety of green decks.
Yeah.
She'll see play for sure.
It's just a slight shame that she doesn't have Force. Like, you're putting in a unit that helps your Force, but it's not a Force. It's Underworld.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this one would be totally useful. I mean, if Fleet Lieutenant sees play, this is totally going to see play too.
Yep. I've got Outer Rim Mystic.
If there's a deck where you absolutely need a really sticky unit, maybe, but otherwise it does nothing. It's just a 2/6, no text. Sure, it's got Force. So, I mean, Maz can pump it. It'll attack for 4, but yeah, it's one of those that I don't see it making the final cut in a lot of the Force decks.
This might be a card that is like the last 3-drop in your mono green Force deck, just because you need to
Good. Yeah.
to fill the curve. And mono green doesn't have too many good options. The other thing that is like interesting, I still don't think it's likely it makes the cut, is in Hantu. It's both a 2/4 for 2 and a 2/6 for 3, which are two great stat lines.
Mhm.
But just having no text means it probably won't make the cut. But it's at
Yeah.
least interesting. And then we've got Jedi Temple Guards.
I mean, Restore 2 is nice. It's a 2/4 for 4. Ambush. What are you going to ambush with a 2/4?
They're 2-drop probably. Like that. That's what
Right?
it's for, is ambushing 2-drops and limited.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. That's great that it has Force and Jedi. I just think it'll be too much effort to make this card work. Like, yeah, you can get it down for 4, and then next turn put a saber on it or something, pump it somehow, and not play a 5-drop. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it seeing a whole lot of play.
Yeah. You play X-34 Landspeeder and don't ambush and Morgan, and then turn 2 you play it. The reduced ability. Oh, you have to attack with your Landspeeder. Gosh, Morgan sucks. So slow. Yeah, I think this card could have cost 3, to be honest. I think
Yeah.
it would actually be a really interesting, exciting card if it cost 3.
Yeah. Yeah,
F4
now.
just won't see play in Premiere. It'll make the cut in Limited, probably. It's much more interesting there.
Yeah.
Now we've got Kadu.
Again, I don't see it seeing a whole lot of play in competitive. Sure, it's a creature and all that. I just don't see a lot of competitive creature decks popping up. Being able to give something else overwhelm, I don't know, too situational.
I wish it was permanent overwhelm. Like, why is it for this phase? Like, the card's bad. You can at least make it slightly better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not even a 4/5, so it isn't overstated if you play it turn 2 with Malakili. Like, us 4/4 is something you can get with other units. So, yeah, it's limited fodder.
Yeah. I mean, 4/4/4 in limited, that's fine.
Yep.
And, maybe giving something overwhelm might be useful.
Mm-hmm. Next is Dagoian Master. Gosh, the names this set are driving me nuts. They're so difficult to say.
So you can search the top 5 cards of your deck for a Force unit and draw it. That seems pretty good. 5 cost 5/5. If you just need something to draw a card, perhaps your next play or set up future plays. You have to use the Force, however.
Mm-hmm.
So if they kill it immediately, you won't get to use its ability when defeated because you've already used your Force token. But, I mean, potentially you could maybe draw 2 cards out of it. It seems okay if you are really needing a search card in your Force deck.
I really wish it was a 6/5 or a 5/6. 5/5 is just a little low stats for 5-drop for me. Like, dying to Poe for
ability.
Mm-hmm. Dying to Poe for free is not ideal.
Yeah.
Like, he digs... He draws 2 cards, probably, which is, like, fine. It's whatever. No relevant traits other than Force.
Mm-hmm.
I find it really funny that having the when defeated ability can be a downside if everyone's playing No Glory in a Force deck. Letting them search their deck when they kill it seems awful.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's fine. It might see some play. And we got Relic Scavenger.
4/6 Restore 2. I can see this totally seeing play in limited.
This is a amazing limited and Twin Suns card. Like, a well-statted Restore unit.
This is just too many other things to do for 5 in Constructed.
Yeah, and Constructed, your 5-drop just has to have immediate impact or be level. Like, that's just the truth.
It's not an awful card, but,
Yeah, and no relevant traits to help prop it up. Now we've got Sifo DS.
4/4 for 5. I mean, fine. He's a Force, Jedi, and Republic. The only way I can see this, like, I can see this maybe being used to feed a unity of purpose. Other than that, probably not.
It's interesting you can Thrawn it and get like 8 cost worth of clones. You have to put a ton of clones in your deck at that point, but that's like an interesting interaction. Krennic can reduce it. Like, it's a lot better as a 4-drop than a 5-drop. Your opponent can no glory it and then play their own clones that are totally in your deck.
If they happen to have clones.
That's funny. That would suck. Yeah, I don't know. I guess. Yeah, I think even Nalase has better things to do on 5. Like, and she's like the clone leader villain.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's just there's like not very many exciting clones. It's like, yeah, let's put Sifo DS in my deck to go find these clones. I guess you just play them for free, so you can like get tech out of aspect, which is kind of interesting. But
yeah,
not like that's. I don't think that's worth slotting just to get tech out of aspect. Because you got to play a ton of other clones to make it worth it, and that's a lot of deck space dedication.
Yeah. Setting up for a unity of purpose next turn, maybe. But
yeah. Next is Terran Tatek.
Terran Tatek. If you're playing anti-force, fine. It's another one of those anti-force, cards where.
Oh, here we go. Chuck it in the Snoke blue with the Inquisitor's lightsaber and the nameless terror.
But yeah, I mean, if I can see it in limited, because there's going to be a lot of force out there, but in constructed, I'm not even sure I'd put it in the sideboard.
Yeah, it's like borderline even for sideboard play and constructed. And limited, it's going to be a beast.
Yeah.
And in Twin Suns, maybe you chuck it in a Caden Green if you need an extra slot, because you can shield it.
Right.
But I don't see anywhere else being particularly exciting. Next is Hyperspace Wayfarer.
I don't know. These space creatures, I'm just not overly impressed with any of them. 4/10, great. It's got a lot of stats, and it'll be hard to get rid of. But it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it's just.
And that takes all my cards to do something.
Yeah. But guys, it's crazy. It makes Protect the Pod deal 10 damage. Yeah, this isn't going to see playing constructed. I think you might just die if you play this in limited, even. If your opponent has any sort of board state. It's like interesting if you can give it Sentinel somehow, like Ahsoka leader.
Yeah.
That's like the primary way to give it Sentinel. But even then, like, there are better 6-drops you can play that you can give Sentinel, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's a little bit more interesting if Molecule reduces it. And it's a lot of stats for 5. I mean, it still has the no immediate impact problem or no text problem, but then it's like really big and funny, at least. Next is Trident Assault Chip.
I'd rather play this card for 6. And
yeah, this is a much better.
I don't know that I would necessarily put this in many decks anyway, because there's probably other cards I'd rather play for 6.
Yep.
But at least it's a 6/6. And it's got Overwhelm, fine. No impact, but if it sticks around, hey, I got a 6/6.
This is another piece of random Dooku support in the set. There's like a lot of random Subverters units in the set.
Yeah.
It's pretty exceptional in Dooku. 4-cost 6/6 Overwhelm is a lot better than 6-cost 6/6 Overwhelm. It curves cleanly into Barrage for 8, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, I think it'll see play in Dooku. I don't think it'll see play anywhere else. Though.
Anywhere else, yeah.
And then we've got the Purgle King.
4/12, restore 4. And draw a card for each friendly unit with 7 or more remaining hit points. I mean, you might draw a few cards if you're playing a big space creature deck, playing all these space whales with a lot of health, but even Restore 4, I mean, it doesn't do much, you know?
Mhm.
After you played it, then what? How did this win you the game?
It kind of just stops you from losing. Like
Yeah,
you draw a couple answers probably, and it's got Restore 4, but it's not gonna kill your opponent. Like it only hits for 4.
yeah,
So, like compared to like I can just play Avenger 1 resource later, and that'll probably win me the game. I can play
right.
Home 1, and that'll probably win me the game because it actually brings enough stats to the table with the extra free 3-drop.
And the Restore that it gives everybody else.
Yeah, and it's got like comparable Restore. So I think it's just got too much competition in space.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, you could protect the pod, kill anything with it.
Yeah, heck yeah. May I guess if the creature leader is just like attack with a creature who uses its HP instead of its power, like in the future, if that's the kind of thing that gets printed, then all of a sudden it's attacking for 12, but that's a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
Molecule. But yeah, without that kind of effect in the game, I don't see it. It's too slow. Next up is Pilio Star Compass.
So it's kind of like paying 2 for an experience token and searching the top 3 cards for a unit. It's okay, I guess. I don't see it filling a niche in any deck necessarily.
Yeah, there's no deck that is just like, oh, that's exactly what I needed was a cost upgrade that draws a card.
Yeah.
If it cost 1, maybe like
maybe experience token and a card, okay.
Like then maybe
I'd rather play any other lightsaber.
Yeah, for sure, for 2. Or just pay 1 more and play General's Blade and Jedi Lightsaber. These really broken upgrades. Yeah, if it was like 1 cost, I'd consider in Kylo, like just drawing a late game bomb on top of my Kylo. But yeah, 2 costs is just a lot for this effect. And then we've got Directed by the Force.
Action economy. I mean, Force is with you, and you get to play a unit from your hand. Yes, you're playing it down curve by 1 at least, but I could see this possibly seeing play in a Force deck. Especially if you use the Force a lot. You know, it's another way to create the Force while doing something else. Is it going to see play in every Force deck? Not necessarily, but I can see it in some.
So this is essentially pay 1 to gain the Force. Like you don't even have to play the unit if you don't want to. So that's like okay. Like the Force has some powerful effects enabled by it.
Yeah.
But I think the decks that have a huge density of effects that care about the Force are just going to play a 20 HP Force space and play Force units.
Right.
So, and those decks, I don't think really need to play a 1-cost gain the Force event because they can just attack. So I think it's much more limited into these decks that like are playing at 25 HP Force spaces and want a little bit of the Force while still playing other decks. So like if I was playing Mystic Monastery Barris and I had enough Force that I felt like I needed a little bit more than Mystic Monastery, like maybe I put Directed by the Force in my deck. Something like that. But I don't think the majority of decks will make room for this card.
Yeah.
And we've got Neiman Strike.
So this is like a 1-cost dogfight for Force units.
Yep.
That also gets a +1. So in a sense, a little better than dogfight, I would think. Will it see play? I don't know. If you're playing a very kind of control-y style deck where you want to attack their units, you know, even after you've exhausted, you want to try to wipe their board. I could see trying to design the deck around this, but very specific that way. But like I said, slightly better dogfight.
So the dogfight and frontline shuttle don't see much play anyway.
Right.
This is a lot more restricted dogfight. If you're playing all Force units in your deck, there is no reason not to play this over dogfight.
Right.
Putting dogfight in your deck.
If you're planning on putting dogfight in there.
Yeah. So if you're playing like an Anakin Green Force space, like that you just wanted to play Anakin, give him a couple lightsabers, and then he's got Overwhelm, so then the Demon Strikes let him overwhelm their guys. Like, maybe that's a deck that puts the card in it, um, that it likes to attack units anyway. Outside of that, like, I don't know. Like, just play Dogfight. Play good units in your deck. Then we've got the Burden of Masters.
Now, comparing this one to Directed by the Force, one cost. In this one, you put a Force unit from your discard pile on the bottom of your deck, and then you play a unit from your hand and give it 2 experience tokens. You're playing it, slightly off curve, paying, 1 less for the turn, whatever for it, or slightly 1 cost less card. But you're giving it 2 XP, which feels like you're kind of jumping that curve. You pay a 4 drop on the 5 resource turn, but give it 2 XP. So now suddenly it's statted like a 5 drop. So I can see this when you're seeing some play in a Force deck.
Again, the biggest difficulty with this card is space, in my opinion. All the words are great. Like, if you're playing a Force deck, it just makes a unit like on curve or above curve potentially. Or putting a unit that you were already playing and doesn't matter in the discard pile on the bottom of your deck. Like, the biggest problem is, like, you have to plan around playing under curve with this card in your curve, so it's a little awkward. And like, I don't know. I would prefer to just design my Force decks to curve out and not have to think about playing under curve to play Burden of Masters to play on curve with a below curve unit. So I don't know. I could definitely see it seeing wow, my brain exploded there. Seeing some play if there's space in some sort of Force oriented deck that wants to smooth their curve a little bit. Next is Overpowered.
This be a lot better if you got to attack with the unit.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, color restriction aside, I'd rather play Surprise Strike.
Mm-hmm. Ping one more. Ping one more than Surprise Strike for just 3 health and Overwhelm. It's just like, and not getting to attack with it. Like, that's a lot of extra stuff I don't really need.
Yeah. Then you pay your 3 and then they exhaust your unit and now you're stuck. You just wasted your turn. Or they defeat it, whatever. Now in Limited, I can see this seeing play and being reasonably impactful.
Mm-hmm. I give my Taoism leader +3/+3 and then kill your Taoism leader. Stuff like that. The other thing I'm mad about is, why is it innate? Overpower should be a tactic.
Yeah.
Why is it innate? I don't understand why it's innate. Did they forget tactic was a trait? Like, it's definitely not innate. Like, you don't just innately overpower people. Like,
no. It totally seems like a tactic, especially with some stormtroopers on there, clone troopers,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You lose points for unflavorful trait there. Not like the card had many points going for it already. It's just not going to see play outside of Limited. Oh. And then we've got Rampage.
We talked earlier about giving all your units +2/+2 and how there were cheaper ways to do it. Now this one is more situational. It has to be a creature unit.
Yeah.
But here's a cheaper way to give all your units +2/+2 again, if they're creatures in this case. Just these types of cards, they don't see play usually, and they're just too slow. You get this off, and then the opponent has a chance to respond and nullify the biggest impact of that by tapping the unit, bouncing the unit, defeating the unit, whatever.
There's just not enough cheap creatures to enable this to be like, I play a ton of go wide, like, weenie creatures, and I play Rampage, and it's like +8/+8 over 4 units, and then I kill you. Like,
right.
Those just don't exist in the game yet. So, like, I think the value you'll get from this with the current card pool is just like meh. So I think that's pretty doom and gloom for it seeing any play yet.
Yeah.
Again, I'm pretty hopeful with all this creature support in this set that they plan to print some more in the future. Maybe we'll actually get a dedicated creature deck that breaks into the meta eventually. But
and then possibly being useful.
Yep. But until then, I don't see it.
Yeah.
Then we've got Protect the Pod that I keep joking about.
Well, for all those space whales, yeah. I mean, in a sense, like if you want to talk about those kind of space whale cards or any of those, cards with, they have to be non-vehicles, but with a lot of health, it's almost like playing a Overwhelming Barrage or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or that other card that's like Overwhelming Barrage that we talked about. Just a way to deal more damage than that creature would normally deal. It's just, I just don't know what deck that is. Like what competitive deck is going to do that.
It's really funny in Palpatine Leader. Like Palpatine has 10 health and they're not usually attacking him, so you could maybe get some funny kills with Palpatine.
Right.
That's like okay. I think the biggest problem is like they keep trying to print conditional green removal, like Stripe Shrew, like Protect the Pod, and none of it sees play because you can just play Fell the Dragon for 6. Like,
yeah,
I'd rather play Fell the Dragon for 6 over this card because I don't have to worry about sticking a unit with a ton of HP to kill their guy. Like, I can just Fell with no conditions other than them having a big guy. So, like, I think the game system allowing you to play removal from different colors, even if you're not in those colors, like, kind of just makes all this, like, weird conditional removal, like, not really a legitimate option.
Yeah. I can totally see, though, in a draft where no one picks up these creatures, there's going to be that one person who picks up all the creatures and then Protect the Pods and makes it work somehow.
I mean, it's just non-vehicle, so, like, if you're playing Taliesin, she's got 7 health, you can deal 7 damage.
Yeah.
So, like, it seems fine removal-wise for limited.
I mean, a lot of units in particular have more health than they have attack, so
yep.
I could see it, for some of those units. It's just, in constructed, you have better removal options, like you said before.
For sure. Oh, that's it.
That was it, yeah.
Yeah, that's all we've got for Command. If you like this kind of content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Helps me out and helps grow the channel. It makes YouTube like me more. All good things. We should wrap this up. You got any final thoughts?
I mean, just we've gone over the vigilance and the command. I like the set. I think there's a lot of cool cards in it. There's going to be some very interesting decks. Just in what we've seen, just in what we've gone over so far, the blue and the green cards.
Yep.
So yeah, should be interesting.
If you haven't seen it, check out that vigilance video that we've done. Watch them all. I've had a lot of fun making them with Hector here. So
yeah.
Hopefully you have as much fun watching them. All right, I think that's all we've got. We'll see you in the next one.